give me wind and rain. You're some kind of butterfly. Baby, you give me midnight. You whip up my appetite. Don't leave me here high and dry. Oh, well, I don't wanna jinx it, baby. And twist myself at the spine.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another week of the Purls and Pyrs podcast. I am your host, Nina, otherwise known as Ine on Instagram, Pinterest, Ravelry, all the social medias where I participate. I recorded some footage last week. I don't know if I will or won't use it, or maybe I'll just put this in and then I'll give you a little bit of I don't know. Maybe I'll put Nina of the past in and then I'll put the present. That's what I think I'll do. But I do want to come and record because it's Wednesday and we're going to go another week. And I kind of like the weekly format because it gives me a little bit of structure for actually making the podcast happen. It's been really, really busy at work, and just trying to make the time to do the podcast is difficult. I'm going to turn this slightly just because that's my work desk. I don't want anything to be in the shot that shouldn't be in the shot. So just ignore everything behind my yoga ball. Anyway, yeah, I've been working on some stuff, mainly Josh's sweater, which I feel really good about. So it is the So Basic, which is a Raglan sweater pattern by Maxim Sear, who is Max the Knitter. I do not have the printout of it. I'm not sure where the printout is right now, which is concerning because I've got it somewhere in the house and it's got the size instructions highlighted, but I don't know where it is. I also don't know what just happened. My Chrome shut down. I think I accidentally clicked it and closed it. Okay, so I'm just going to jump right in to share my whips with you. So this is what I'm working on. It's getting real big. So this cable, I think, is a 40-inch cable. I'm using Ceces wool. It is the fingering weight base, which I don't remember the name of. But I believe that the colorway is like something honey related. Let's see if I can pull up the project real quick. Because I do have it. No, I didn't put the colorway in it, but it's the Ceces wool sock. There's two skeins that I'm using for it. I am alternating them. It has a 7x1 ribbed detail on the sleeve and some short row shaping to raise the back neck a little bit, but otherwise just a basic Raglan pattern. I do want to put it on a 60-inch cable so that Josh can try it on. I think I'm at about 65 stitches for each of the sleeves, and I believe his has to be like over 100 for each sleeve before I start not increasing the sleeve portion anymore. So I've got quite a ways to go, but I am using the Narwhal Progress Keeper. So this is all my progress I got done yesterday. So he is helping me feel motivated, like there's actually something happening. I need to move him so that I can measure today's progress. But that is from Charmed and Dangerous. I call him my Wonderwall because he's kind of a Wonderland narwhal. And, you know, the song Wonderwall annoys my husband. So inside joke there. But it is a really nice pattern, very straightforward, easy to follow. If it were a first sweater, I would absolutely recommend this one. But you do get that little bit of interest on the sleeve. Good stuff. So that's the main thing I've been working on this week. But underneath of it, I've got everything kind of in one project bag, which is annoying. All right, I have one completed tinsel mitt. These are, well, not completed, but the top is done. These are the Tinsel Mittens by Andrea Mowry. I made the biggest size. They are gigantic on my hands because they're for my husband. So there's lots of extra room here, but they fit him perfectly. And this goes just right at kind of the base of his knuckles. So his hands are just way bigger than mine. My plan is to make the flip top mitten. So I'll pick up stitches here, cast on some stitches, and then knit a top that can go over top of it. And then I'll knit the thumb, but I wanted to knit both of the hands first. So I did cast on for the second mitt. And it is right here. So the second one is in progress. Good stuff. I've started doing the gusset increases for the thumb. It has that just little slip stitch detail on both sides, just something to be interesting. I have lots of stitch markers. Those are so I can remember to work that slip stitch. And then this one is just going, hey, your thumb increases are there. Remember to work your gusset. There, that one is for remembering to work my gusset. I am, holding these two doubles. So this one is Malabrigo Silky Merino in the Marron Oscuro colorway. And this one is some random, mysterious mohair. Goodness, I'm hiccuping and I'm sorry. So those two together make a really interesting, just light, because the mohair is variegated, but the Malabrigo is not. It's a weird little fuzz that got into the mohair, and it's going to be there forever because I can't get it out. But you can see there's a little bit of variegation that shows up from the mohair, but it's very subtle. So yeah, they were pretty fun to work, very easy. I think I'm going to make a pair for myself when I finish the ones for Josh, but his are going to be first. So those are going really well. And then, oh yeah, I should talk about what I'm wearing. For those who haven't seen it before, this is the pumpkin patch sweater. It's a pattern by Meg, who is a Bad Wolf Girl, Sits and Knits. She released it several years ago, and I was a test knitter for it. Yeah, I really love it. I wear it year round. I don't care. Year round is pumpkin season. Okay. That is basically that. I think I shared those in my earlier footage, so I'm not going to bother to share them. The other thing that I worked a little bit more on, which I had not shown, is my Stardew Valley sweater. And if you'll recall, I'm making this out of the socks pattern by Oakwood Knits. She has 4 of them, one for each season of Stardew Valley. So I started with the autumn one, which is Autumn the Smell of Mushrooms is the name of the sock pattern. And then I'm using the Strange Brew sweater pattern from TinCanKnits, which is more kind of a recipe. So it just talks about like how can you design your own top-down colorwork sweater. I think it also tells you how to do them bottom up if you want to, but I hate knitting bottom up things, so nuh-uh. So I'm using the wedge method. There are kind of 2 methods that you can use. You can either, 3, sorry. You can go bottom up, you can go top down, and just do circular increases throughout, or you can do top down wedge, which is like you're keeping your charts in a certain orientation with one another. So if you need things to like line up and have the increases happen kind of around, if you picture that, the wedge method is the one you want to use. So I am using the wedge method to try and like align my charts. So I've done the sky. So this is kind of supposed to be blending into the daytime sky. And then I've got my tops of my trees. So the trees in autumn, the maple trees, turn kind of pink and purple, which I think is supposed to be like a sugar leaf maple, which makes sense because you can get maple syrup from those trees in Stardew Valley. And then I didn't have this one with me before, but this is going to be the oak trees, and it's also going to be the body of the sweater. So once I get through all the yoke color work, this is going to be what the body of the sweater is. I have 4 of these. I'm probably going to use 3, and then I'll have just 1 extra to throw into other stuff. But it is a Yarn at Home Mom color. I've been holding this sweater's quantity for a long time. It's a World of Octobers, which is a Anne of Green Gables colorway. Yeah, so that's what I'm going to use for the trees, the oak trees, when I get to them. I'm almost done with the maple trees. I think it's when you get to the bottom of, they're kind of circular almost, because it's, you know, it's arcade graphic type stuff. So once I get to the bottom of these trees, then when I start the trunks, which I'm using more of the Marie Cutie base. All of this is Marie Cutie from Plies and Hellhounds. But then I will start mixing other stuff in. So I had originally shown that for the sand or the dirt, I was going to use this one, but I kind of didn't like it. And I thought, I'm not happy with this choice. So that's going. It's gone. It's out of here. What I'm going to use instead is this one, because I think it'll give it a little more visual interest, and it'll look like kind of all the different terrains that there are in Stardew Valley. So this one is a Chromatic Yarns colorway, and it is called What in the Eight Hells is Coffee. It is the Legends and Lattes collection. I bought 1 skein of this and then a skein of Thimble. This one I think is going to be really great for the dirt color. It'll look like maybe there's some leaves laying on the ground, and can symbolize like when you till up the dirt, it looks darker, or when you water the dirt in your farm, it looks darker. So I like that there's just some stuff to break it up. And also I think that'll help because we're going to have the sheep on it, and there's a much higher contrast between the white and this than there was between the white and this. So those sheep are going to stick out way better on this, which is what I want. I want the sheep to be very contrasting. So that's going to go into my bag. And I'm also going to wind this one and the 2 other matching ones up. I need to get my winding rig out and get things set up so that I can wind yarn to be able to do those guys. Okay. And then I did get a few patterns this week as well. Sorry, I'm just checking something real quick because it's lunchtime. I just don't want to go over and then bleed into a meeting. So one of them I purchased, and that is the lakefront sweater. It is an Amy Miller pattern, and I don't know how I missed this one, but there's only 13 projects. I don't know why. I love Amy Miller patterns, just leaving it there. Yeah, they're kind of simple, classic silhouettes, but they're interesting and fun to knit. I've knit 4 different sweaters of her patterns, and they've all fit really well. The patterns were very clear. I didn't get stuck at all. So this one is the lakefront, and it's top down, but it has this really nice scoop neck, which I don't have on any of my other sweaters I've knit, and like a drop shoulder, which is nice. And if I can find a picture of it, it's got a high-low hem, which I think is really cool. Oh, apparently it just printed twice. So I have 2 copies of it. Huzzah. Anyway, adds a high-low hem. Cool. So I'm going to knit that out of this yarn, which is the Yarn at Home Mom in the Anne of Green Gables colorway. Sensing a theme, I'm kind of getting through all of my Yarn at Home Mom yarn. I don't have that much more of it left, which is bittersweet because I'm so happy that I now have garments I can enjoy out of it. But it makes me sad because Shannon doesn't dye yarn anymore, so I will not be able to ever get any again. But it's nice that I'm knitting it into stuff. I don't like just leaving things sitting in my stash for forever. So I just finished the Pine Creek crop out of Yarn at Home Mom. I'll have another sweater out of Yarn at Home Mom, and then yet another sweater out of Yarn at Home Mom. I bought a bunch of yarn from her years ago, pre-pandemic, and it's time to knit that stuff up. So as part of the Stash Galore 2024 goals, I'm digging deep into the stash and just embracing the pretties. So this one is going to be lakefront. And then the other pattern that I got as my choice for test knitting. So when you test knit for Samantha, she lets you pick one of her patterns that she publishes as a reward for test knitting. So I chose the Farm Chores sweater. I couldn't participate in this test knit when it came up. I just had too much going on in my life and I couldn't do it. But I do want to knit the sweater, and I didn't buy it because I knew I would test knit for her at the next opportunity. So I was like, there's been a few test knits where there was nothing for me to buy because I already had all her stuff. And the coupon she gives you is only good for like a few days. So if there kind of isn't something already published, you don't get to get anything. So that's the downside of if you always test knit for her, you won't not have all her stuff. But it is a kind of cabled and textured top down sweater. It has dropped shoulders. This is kind of like the thing that all designers are doing right now. I'm plus or minus on it for whether I like it or don't like it. It really depends on how much I can play around with the fit of the sweater itself, because it's hard to fit my shoulders with this kind of sleeve. But I think it'll be fine. When I've looked at it, I think it'll be fine. So I have a gold tweed yarn that my mom gave me from like one of her knitting friends in her knitting group who passed away. They went and kind of cleaned out her stash and stuff in her house, and they all took some things, and she saw this yellow and sent me pictures and said, hey, do you want this? And I was like, yeah, I absolutely do. That's a really gorgeous yarn. There's tons of it. I will find something to use it for to honor your friend's memory. So this is what I'm going to make, is the Farm Chores sweater. And I think it'll be really pretty in that gold tweed. I should get it so I can show you. Okay. So this is not all of it that I got, but this is what she brought me plus another bag's worth of these. So I think I have like 7 of these skeins, maybe 8. So it is Plymouth Yarn Company Taria Tweed. It's 40% merino wool, 30% llama, 30% silk. But it's very light. It reminds me quite a bit of, what is that yarn? Was that Rowan Silk Tweed? It's kind of like Rowan Silk Tweed, I think was the name of that yarn. And maybe a little bit like Jared Flood's yarn, which I'm now blanking on the name of, but stronger than that. I don't remember the name of that yarn either. Anyway, I've felt similar yarn constructions before, but it's nice and light because it's got that silk content in it. And the spin is very light. I don't know if it's a woolen spun, but yeah, I think it'll be really pretty as a farm chore sweater. And I don't have anything this color. It's coming up really bright, like orangey yellow. It's not. It's more of like a mustard, like a Dijon mustard color. Anyway, I can't represent it. The color is 2759. I don't know what the number means in terms of a name. And then the other one she gave me was this sweater's quantity of Gadifra extra soft merino, and it's in an olive green colorway. I have 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 balls of that. It's 100% extra fine superwash merino wool, and the label is in every language except for English. So I'm reading the Spanish because that's the one I know. And I sort of know the German one a little bit. Except for extra soft merinos in English, which is weird. Anyway, I have quite a bit of that as well. I don't know what I will make with it, but it was enough for a sweater's quantity for me. The yardage on each ball, it doesn't, okay, it's 50 gram balls, 105 meters per ball. I would say it's probably a DK weight. Yeah, I would say DK weight. Yeah, so DK weight, 105 meters. I don't know. That feels like enough for a sweater for me, maybe with some cables or something. But I was thinking a cardigan, because then I could have a pop of color underneath, because this isn't normally a color I would wear. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about olive green. I have like associations with the army with olive green. I don't know, but it could be really pretty with some like white color work on it. Yeah, so that's my plan for the farm chores. And then the other one I purchased was the pressed flowers cardigan. So I really need to make more cardigans this year, because I wear my cardigans a lot, but I only have 2 that I have hand knit. I have the one that I knit for Samantha, and then I have one that I did that's an Andrea Mowry pattern, the So Faded sweater, the Comfort Fade sweater, Comfort Fade cardi. Both of them are open front cardigans, so they don't button, but I want one that buttons to close it when it's cold. So I thought the pressed flowers cardigan was fun. It is mosaic color work, which is nice, so don't have to do floats per se. And I'm going to use this stuff over here. Let's see if I can grab these. Okay, I'm going to use this stuff. It is a chocolate brown Cormo. And then these are minis that I got from Dragon Horde Yarns. It was a fall colors mini skein set. So I'm going to do like one set of flowers with each one. And then I may just do the sleeves plain if I don't have enough. or these are kind of colors that I've got in my stash-ish. So I think as long as I'm, consistently going down, I can probably add more that will coordinate. Because I've got kind of a brick cinnamon color. I've got, these are just autumnal colors. I've got a cream. This is a navy. Anyway, the idea was that these are like 20-gram minis, so they should be plenty to make each of the flower motifs going down. And then we'll see how far I get. Maybe it'll have deep ribbing at the bottom. I'm going to play around with it. But this sweater's quantity I've had since my first Rhinebeck. It is Cormo from a farm stand at Rhinebeck. Foxhill Farms. Foxhill Farms has Cormo that they bring every year, and I bought 3 skeins of this undyed chocolate brown, and I wanted to make something cozy with it. So I think a nice cozy cardigan with little pops of color, like flower motifs, and then some wooden buttons. That's what's in my head, and I think it's going to be really cool. So that's the other thing that I have plans for. I've already wound up all the yarn. The rest of it is right there. There. That's where the other 2 skeins are. So yeah, that is all my knitting plans, all my purchases for this week. It was really just patterns to make stuff with, which is great. I'm excited to make some patterns. I think that those are all good sweaters. One of them was free, so it's not really purchased, but it was an acquisition, and I am going to make a sweater out of it. And that one would just be a nice, like, cozy putting on to go and do my chicken chores. So it can be my chicken chores sweater. And it's not red, so they won't peck me for it. Because they go crazy when you have anything red on. Like red boots. I have these red LL Bean boots. And they just, like, peck the crap out of my feet when I have them on. Luckily, they have rubber on the bottom. But those ladies are vicious when they see red. So anyway, I need to go and water the chickens before my lunch hour is over. And then Josh will be coming back with our groceries, and I need to help him put those away before we go to Joshua's conference this afternoon, like at 1 o'clock. Yeah, so thank you very much, everyone, for joining me for this little check-in. And yeah, I hope you get time to do the things that you love, and I will talk to you soon. Okay,